SoCal Quake swarms continues on dangerous fault line after the 4.9 aftershocks continue with two twin 3.5 earthquakes just 1 hour apart from each other. And this is on the dangerous San Jacinto fault, which is in the San Andreas complex, where they are expecting a large earthquake. Let's go to the map so we can see what's going on. We are at Seismo Berkeley again, and this is the San Jacinto fault right there. You can even see it right, but this is the 4.9 that we had, and this is the double quake that we had, 3:39 p.m. and this one here was 2:07 p.m. It's about an hour and a half, 3.5. But these are not, they're not the only ones. Look at this. These were the ones just above 2.5 magnitude. And we'll wait for these to come on. The blue are this past day, and the red is the past hour. Hundreds of them. Hundreds of them. It looks like this swarm is growing, and the number of people that reported them. The first one was 709 people, and we'll go to the second one over that. And this is the shaking. Let's go to the shaking. This is the Los Angeles area and Southern California. This is Salton Sea, but let's go to the area. We'll see it better this way, I think, now that we know where they are. Okay, and let's put on take out the station so we can see better. Population density. Okay, that's Los Angeles right there. Let's take it out so we can see a lot better. Okay. Now the thing is that they stopped the block there with the shaking, but obviously you can see that it did go up to garlic. I must have shaken garlic. Yesterday we had a 3.5 up here as well. So these were flanking, the 3.5s were flanking Los Angeles. This is the San Andreas fault right here. This is the garlic fault. This is the Walker Lane fault system. This is Long Valley Caldera here. And this is an area of where we will expect the Anza slip. 40-kilometer segment of the San Jacinto fault separates fault segments ruptured during the 6.8 earthquake in 1918. And this is our San Jacinto fault. This is it right here. Let's go in a little bit closer. Okay. Yes. Okay, San Jacinto fault right there. Santa Ana Mountains, El Elsinore fault. Palomar Mountains. That's where we had our earthquake. And going back a little bit now to the, sorry. Okay, this way. Right. Okay. The San Jacinto fault, major strike slip fault zone running through San Bernardino, Riverside, San Diego, Imperial Valley in Southern California. This is the SJFZ, San Jacinto Fault Zone, is a component of the larger San Andreas transform system and considered to be the most seismically active fault zone in the area. Together they relieve the majority of stress between the Pacific and North American tectonic plates. That's the subduction pressure, that is. And this itself consists of many individual fault segments, some of which have only been individualized as recently as the 1980s. But activity along the line of faults has been documented since the 1890s. One segment is the Anza seismic gap. That's where we're having our earthquakes. Anza, California. Anza. That's where we're having our earthquakes. Okay? And has not experienced any major activity since instrumental records have been kept. Each segment was evaluated for its seismic risk and was assigned a probability for the occurrence of a large rupture for the 30-year period starting 1995. Okay, so they're expecting a large rupture. Whereas several of the large earthquakes along this area have not, the San Jacinto fault, have not resulted in significant property damage. Okay, the recurring intervals, this is important. The recurring intervals for a series of large earthquakes starting 1899, including the 5.9 1937 Telwinger Valley earthquake, was 18.5, 14.5, 12.4, and 19 years. Yet there has not been a strong earthquake for 32 years since the 1987 Superstition Hills and Elmore Ranch sequence. Characteristics: it accommodates up to 80% of the slip rate. The extreme southern portion of the San Andreas Fault, SAF, has experienced 2 moderate events in historical times, while the San Jacinto Fault is one of California's most active fault zones and has repeatedly produced both moderate and large events. The locations of the earthquakes before 1954 are not precisely known, but the events place them on the San Jacinto Fault and not on the San Andreas Fault. Okay? Now, 1932 North San Jacinto Fault earthquake struck the Inland Empire area of Southern California at a time of relatively low population, and a repeat event in modern times would result in heavy property damage, of course. Now, the segments. Let's go to the San Jacinto. Okay, yeah, San Jacinto Valley. 4 kilometers wide, 25 long. That was formed by extension and regional overlap between 2 major parallel strands of the San Jacinto Fault Zone. And let's go to the ANZA now. While in 1988, working group included the Clark, Coyote Creek, and Buck Ridge faults, the 1995 workshop group limited the segment to just 56 miles or 90 kilometers. Clark Fault. A paleoseismic investigation of the segment at Hog Lake indicated 3 historic surface rupture events occurred around 12,010, 1,210, 1530, and 1750, with an average reoccurrence, this is important, recurrence period of, for magnitude 7 to 7.5 earthquakes, of 250 years. So 250 years, if you add that to 1750, it's up to 2000, the year 2000. So we're already 20 years overdue. So that's why they're saying we're expecting a San Andreas major quake. San Andreas meaning the southern SoCal, Southern California. And this is the Ridgecrest area, as we can see here. Where went out too much, sorry. Okay. That's Ridgecrest right there. Okay. Also volcanic field. Yes, that's a volcanic field. And also, of course, Salton Sea is a volcanic area. They have a geothermal plant there. They also have a geothermal plant right across the Mexican border, tapping into that magma. And while we're here, of course, we have to say, oh, look at that. This is a big one. Okay. That is the Long Valley Caldera. We'll do another video of that. That is Long Valley Caldera. Of course, this is Idaho. They're still having an earthquake swarm there. They're still having earthquake swarms in Salt Lake City. This is where the magma plume here, the mantle plume, the magma, coming into Yellowstone, comes through Baja. And there is 2 branches. One goes west, feeding San Andreas in the Walker Lane fault system with the high threat volcanoes, and of course Long Valley Caldera supervolcano is a very high threat volcano classified by USGS, and the eastern arm splits this way, going through Utah, Salt Lake City, and feeding up to Yellowstone, like this. Of course, this area here is all volcanic. Idaho has 9 volcanoes, and Utah has 8. Okay, craters of the Moon Volcano, Idaho. We have, what happened to us? I thought we just had them. Sorry, what happened? I thought we had I'm sorry, what did I do to you? Okay, 9 volcanoes. 9 volcanoes in Utah, right there. This is Yellowstone right there. That's Salt Lake City. Let's put it up. 9 volcanoes here and 8 volcanoes here. 8 volcanoes here. And the, I think that one is Salt Lake. The black rock is the one that, it's dormant 1 out of 5, but that's the one that erupted 660 years ago. Yes, it's the youngest, and it's the youngest lava flow, roughly erupted 660 years old, ice spring lava flow. Okay, that's, so there's magma under there. That's the magma that's running right through there. And of course, these here, this is where we had our, they're probably extinct. They say they're probably extinct because extinct volcanoes could still erupt, like we saw in the Kamchatka Peninsula of Russia recently. They had extinct volcanoes that they didn't have on their volcano list, and then suddenly they found that one of them was filled to the brim with magma ready to erupt. So this is where we had our having our quake swarm right there. So that's the situation there. As they said, they're expecting, and we're overdue for a big earthquake. We're overdue 20 years, okay? And it goes like clockwork almost. All right. So all of you there, please be very careful. And as we said, they have repeated this many, repeated feeling it, so I'm sure many more obviously have felt it, the shaking. Los Angeles, San Diego, the whole area. So please be very careful. Thank you. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.